What is the general idea? Homogeneous and uh, contiguous and same type. So the general definition, an array is an indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous data elements. An array is fixed number of, first of all, it will be having index. An array is an indexed collection of fixed number of homogeneous data elements. Arrays will be having index. Arrays will be having index. In that indexes only we can able to store the values. And what type of values we can able to store, what type of elements we can able to include, that is the same type, homogeneous data elements, not heterogeneous, homogeneous data elements. And array size is fixed. Once I declare an array that is fixed, I cannot able to resize the array according to our requirement. I cannot able to resize the array size according to our requirement. That is fixed. Arrays are fixed in size. What is the syntax to create array? Now, arrays are also objects in Java programming. Arrays are also objects in Java programming. How I'm creating an array? Observe, int array x, int array x. X is the reference variable, new is the operator, int size I'm declaring, size I'm specifying, size I'm specifying. What is the size? That is 3. 3 is the size of this array. And what is the type? Int type. It is the int type array. Int type array. X is the reference variable, is equal to new int. I'm creating an object. Arrays are objects in case of Java. Now, what are the values that are present in these indexes? So, see, array index is starting from 0. We know that array index is starting from 0. What is the length of this array? What is the length of this array? It is 3. Length of this array is 3. Length of this array is 3. Now, what are all the 3 elements? How we can able to represent, how we can able to store the 3 elements? By using the index x of 0, x of 1, x of 2. 3 elements. From starting from 0, 3 elements. X of 0, x of 1, x of 2. Totally 3 elements. And the length of the array is 3. I can able to store 3 elements. 3 elements. At this point of time, if I'm trying to find out what is the value that are stored inside these indexes, we get the default values. We get the default values. That is, if in case of int, we get the default value as 0. I'm trying to find out the values that are stored in these 3 indexes, 0, 1, 2. So we get the default values. That is 0. 3 zeros will get. 3 zeros will get. Then next, I'm initializing these indexes for the first time. Explicit initialization. User only initializing of 0 initialized with, and x of 1 is initialized with 20, x of 2 is initialized with 30. At this point of time, what is the value of the elements? What is the value of, see here, the value that is stored inside the index 0, x of 0 that is 10, x of 1 that is 20, x of 2 that is 30. What are the values that are stored in the indexes? So to find out the length of this array, to find out the length of this array, we are using x dot length. X is the reference variable of the int type array. Dot length, to find out the length of this array, we get 3 as the length. We get 3 as the length. Run this program. Initially we are getting 3 zeros. This is the length of this array and the reinitialized values, the explicit initialized values, 10, 20 and 30. Come to the next. Declaring in one and initializing in another line. Declaring in one line and initializing in another line. Here only reference declaration. Can we delete whole array in a program? You want to delete whole array or the elements inside that array? So observe here first. X of X array, sorry, here int type array, int type array, the reference is X, reference is X. Declaring in one line, initializing in another line. Declaring in one line and initializing in another line. X of 0, X of 1, X of 2. What are the values? Default values. Reinitializing or explicit initialization of the indexes 0, 1, 2, 100, 200, 300. So we get the values 100, 200, 300. The point here it is, we can able to declare reference in one line and initialize that reference in another line. That is the point. So what is the question that is asked? So can I able to delete the whole array? So we don't have that functionality in case of Java to remove the whole array. Okay. And also we cannot able to resize the array. Can I supply null is equal to null? Warning. What is a warning? Run this. What are we getting? Null pointer exception. Yeah. See, if it is a null, how we can able to add the element? Okay, see, we don't have any direct remove method. We don't have direct remove method in case of Java to delete the whole array, or and we cannot also resize the array. But if I declare this reference as null, so we cannot able to access, like, we cannot able to access the indexes. So we get null pointer exception. Come to the next program. Observe how and all we can able to write the or create the reference variable of type array. Int space x of array, that is possible. Int space array y, int space array y. Before reference, I'm declaring the array. Then int array space z, reference variable. Int array space z. Then int array without giving any space p. That is also possible. That is also possible. But what not possible is, so int s. Okay. So if I include this reference along with the int, it is considering this is whole. Okay. It is not possible. It is invalid. It is invalid. This syntax is invalid. Now all these are possible. All these are possible. Valid declarations. Valid declarations. See, here just understand the basics of arrays. So in case of multi-dimension, that is different. Okay, here the basics, we are trying to understand the basics of arrays. It is single dimension array. Single dimension array, we are discussing about single dimension array. Let us properly understand the single dimension array. Now int space x of array is equal to new int size is 2. So I can only able to refer the indexes, or I can able to only access the index that are whatever the elements that are present. See here, in the 0 element, I can able to find out what is the element that is present. In the first index, I can able to find out what is the element is present, but not in x of 2. But not in x of 2. Size itself is 2. That is two elements, 0 and 1. Two elements. Okay. Two elements. Size is 2. Okay. Size is 2. But array index is starting from 0. Okay. Array index is starting from 0. If I'm referring to second index, it is considering that I'm trying to access the third element. Okay. That is not available. We can able to only access two elements. Array size itself 2. 0 and 1. Starting from 0. So if you are trying to execute this, you will get array index out of bounds exception at the runtime. At the runtime, you will get this exception, array index out of bounds exception. At the compile time, we are not getting any exception. Okay, compiler won't be bothering about whether it is index out of bounds or not. It is only checking for the syntax. It is only checking for the syntax. but at the runtime we get the exception. At the runtime we get the exception. Try to execute this. After printing 0 0, I'm trying to access x of 2, that is not available. So array index out of bounds exception. Come to the next program. By using for loop, I'm iterating. By using for loop, I'm iterating. 4 elements. Size is 4. 4 elements. And I have not explicitly initialized the values. I'm leaving it for the default values. I'm leaving it for the default values. The default values for int type, that is 0. The default values for int type, that is 0. I'm starting from 0. I'm starting from 0. Then 0 less than x dot length till 4. Till 4. When I becomes 4, this expression becoming false. 4 is not less than 4. 4 is not less than 4. So up to 0 1 2. Up to what? 0 1 2 3. 0 1 2 3. 4 elements. 0 1 2 3. 4 elements. When I becomes 4, 4 less than 4, that is becoming false. We know very well that for every iteration, the default value, that is 0, it will be printed. First length is printed 4, then separation, then 4 times 0, 4, then separation, 4 times 0. Come to the next program. I'm using for each loop. For each loop. What is the for each loop? Instead of using for loop, I'm using the for each loop. I'm declaring one data type. I'm declaring the data type is string and the variable is s1. Data type is string, s1 is the variable, and this s1 variable can hold only string type elements, and this s1 can only hold string type elements colon x. I'm supplying x. String type X is the string type array reference. X is the string type array reference. X is the string type array reference. Iterating now. 4 times null will, 4 times we get null, 4 times. Till the end of the array. Till the end of the array. This for each loop iterating till the end of the array. Till the last element. We get 4 times null. 4 times null. 4 times null. Come to the next program. Very important. Int I is equal to 10. Int I is equal to 10. X is the string array type. X is the string array reference type. I'm supplying I 10. Now size is 10. Size is 10. Int value I'm supplying. Int value I'm supplying. Now printing the separation. Reinitializing I with 0. Reinitializing I with 0. Now for the next array, I'm supplying 0. 0 as the size. 0 as the size. Possible or not? Can I have an array with size 0? Can I have an array with size 0? That means, can array hold 0 number of elements? Can array hold 0 number of elements? Array can hold 0 number of elements. Array size can be 0. Array size can be 0. Array size can be 0. Yeah, empty array. Printing the separation, then I is equal to minus 2. Initializing I with minus 2. I'm supplying here minus 2 as the size for Z array, that is of type string. In fact, it can be any type of string. Sorry, it can be any type of array, not only string. It can be of any type. So, can the size be negative integer? Can I declare an array with the size negative integer? We cannot. So we get exception at the runtime. We get exception at the runtime. See here, we are not getting any compile time error. We are not getting any compile time error. At the runtime, we get exception. At the runtime, we get exception after printing these two separations. Run as Java application. What is the name of the exception? That is negative array size. Negative array size. I cannot able to declare an array with the negative array. I cannot able to declare an array with the size a negative integer. It cannot be having size as the negative integer. Come to the next program. Double. Type of array is double. Size is 3. Elements is the reference variable. Initially, I'm printing the default values for the double. What is the default value for double? Any guess? What is the default value for double? Default value for double. In case of int, we know that it is 0. In case of string, we know that that is null. See, in case of string, why we are getting null? It is because of derived data type. Derived data type. We are calling it as derived data type. What about double? What is the default value for double? We get 0, 0.0. That's it. 0, 0.0. Not more decimal points. Only 1 point. 0, 0.0. Observe now. For zeroth index I'm supplying 1.0. For first index I'm supplying 20.0. For second index 3.0. Same we are printing. Come to the next program. Boolean array. Boolean array. Size is 3. Size is 3. Now what is the default value for Boolean array? What is the default value for Boolean type? False. Yes. False is the default value. Initially we get 3 false. After that, index 0 I'm supplying true. I can only supply two values in case of Boolean. Either it can be true or it can be false. Either it can be true or it can be false. For the first index I'm supplying whatever the element that is present in the elements of 0th index, that is true. True is supplied to elements of one index. For the first index I'm supplying whatever the element that is present in the 0th index, that is true. True is supplied to index 1. Now for the index 2, not equal to elements of 0, whatever the element that is present in the 0th index, reverse of that, not equal to means reverse. So not equal to true means false, not equal to true means false, not equal to true means false. False is supplying to index 2. False is supplied to index 2. Now we are printing the values. True, true, false. True, true, false. Now come to the next program. It is of type string. We have already seen this. Right? But here what I'm doing, initially I'm printing the default values null, we know that. Then I'm supplying the values within the double quote. We know that for the string we need to supply the value within the double quote. Within the double quote. Size is 3. For 3 indexes I'm supplying these values. Corresponding values will be stored. Then we are printing ABC hello test. ABC hello test. Initially null, then reinitializing ABC hello test. Array size is 5. Array size is 5. Okay, but I cannot say that I cannot access x of 5. That is not available. X of 5 is not available. Only from 0 to 4 is available, not fifth index. 0 to 4 only available. 5 elements in the sense 0 to 4, 5 elements. So what is the default value for float? 0.0 only, but we might get at the end f. So the default value for float, I'll declare one here. Let's say, let's comment this. Here what I'll do is float x float of 0. I'm just trying to find out x of 0. We get 0.0f. See, observe, it is taking the double value only as the default, but in fact the default value for the for the float it is 0.0f, and for double it is 0.0d. Okay, in case of double also we don't get d. Okay, in case of double also we don't get d here. Okay, in fact for float it is 0.0f, and for double also 0.0d, but both are removing. Okay, both are removed, both are removed. Simply we are getting 0.0, simply we are getting 0.0. That is the default value. Come to the next program. So -1. So what is the exception we get? Array index out of bounds exception or any other exception? Any guess? Array index out of bounds exception or negative array index exception? See, we get array index out of bounds exception, not negative array index. Why? Because see, while I'm specifying the size, if I say negative, then we get the negative index size exception. Here we are getting array index out of bounds exception. Array index out of bounds exception. That is not available. This index is not available. This index is not available. Now, -5. Okay, -5. I'm declaring it as the size. Possible or not? Sure. Negative array size exception. Negative array size exception. We are getting negative array size exception. Come to the next program. So what do we get here? Exception will be exception. Why? Because array with the size 0. Array with the size 0. What is the exception? What is the exception? Same, array index out of bounds. Index is not available. 0 elements can be stored in this array. Zero elements can be stored in this array. Now come to the next program. What is going on here? We have already seen this declaring in one line, initializing in another line. But what not possible? That is, the syntax won't work. Syntax won't work. I have already declared the array here. I have already declared the array here, and x is the reference. Now once again, I cannot able to keep the array here along with reference variable. This is the this is not a proper syntax. It is invalid. I can only have like this: x is equal to new int. Let's say like this, it is invalid syntax. Now, declaring reference in the same line. Declaring the array references in the same line. Declaring array references in the same line. X also is type of int. Y also is type of int. Z also is type of int. Now all these are arrays. Array references. Creating array references of the same type in the single line. Now I'm initializing those variables x, y, z. X, y, z. Now observe, x is initialized int array, x is equal to new int of size 2. Now y is not initialized, z is initialized. Z is initialized. And y and z are of the same type. Int type, int type, int array type. Y is initializing in the next line. Y is initializing in the next line. Now what about this? See, x is normal variable. X is normal variable, not the array. X is not the array. In fact, if you are seeing here, see whatever the year, I need to declare this array. Okay, then only it is becoming y as the array type. Now here what is happening? Int x is equal to 10. It is the normal variable. Y is the array type. Z is the array type. M is the normal variable. M is the normal variable. not the array variable. Now y is equal to, I'm initializing. X and m are the normal variables. These are not the array type of variables. We have seen this. By using for loop we are iterating, and by using for each loop we are iterating. What is new here? It is to return the elements that are present in a particular array. I'm using inbuilt method. I'm using inbuilt method. See, from java.util.arrays. So this is the package java.util package. Java.util package. We have a class called arrays. In that class, I'm calling the toString method. ToString method is available in that class. ToString method, and I'm supplying x. X is the array type. X is pointing to one object. That array object contains elements. Those objects, those elements will be returned. All the elements will be printed, returned. So mainly this arrays dot toString method we use in collections. There is a concept called collection API. There we will use this. In case of arrays.toString, how the elements are returned? Observe. Within a square bracket, where elements are returned. Within the square bracket. And observe here, S1. Okay, S1. It is the normal variable. It is not the array. I'm supplying ABC. S2 is the array. S2 is the array, creating the object, array object. S3 is the normal variable. I'm supplying the value XYZ. Now we get for S1 ABC, for S3 XYZ, for S2 we get null. This is important. While specifying the array size, while specifying the array size, can I able to supply double value, double as the size? See, double data type is there. Can I able to send the double as a size? No, right? We cannot. I cannot able to send the double value. I can only send the integer value. That to non-negative. That to non-negative. Int value. Size should be in the integer form. That to non-negative. can I able to specify the size using signs? Means what about the signed integer? See here, what is signed? Basically plus or minus, plus or minus. I say plus 10, possible or not? Plus is possible, but negative we cannot. Negative array size exception. Now observe this program. X is the reference variable that is of type int array. Size is 2. Initially, I'm assigning 100 and 200. Same is returning. 100 and 200 will be returned by using arrays.toString. Elements will be returned. Then I'm calling test method by supplying X. Test method is the static method. Test method is the static method, and we don't need the object to call this test method. Static method we can able to call it directly, and this test method is accepting one int array. This test method is accepting one int array as the argument. One argument. I'm supplying X, the reference. Wherever the main method X reference, wherever the main method X array reference is pointing, wherever the main method X array pointing to the object, for the same object, test method array is also pointed. Now, X of 0 and X of 1 modifying to 1000 and 2000. 1000 and 2000. So it is comes under pass by references. Changes in the destination. Changes in the destination reflecting back to the source. Changes in the destination is reflecting back to the source. Pass by reference or call by reference. That is a general idea. Come to the next program. Another way of declaring and initializing arrays. Another way of declaring and initializing arrays. Here, I'm not specifying the size. I'm not specifying the size. I'm not specifying the size. Instead, what I'm doing, I'm supplying the elements. What are all the elements do I need? What are all the elements? So what I'm basically telling to the array, this array, I want these many elements and the size is also same, 1 2 3 4. 4 is the size. I don't need to explicitly supply the size. I don't need to explicitly supply the size by using curly braces. I'm supplying the elements by using comma as a separator. By using comma as a separator, four elements I have supplied. Four elements I have supplied, and don't forget to end with the semicolon. Don't forget to end with the semicolon. Length is 4, and the elements are 10, 20, 30, 40. Length is 4, elements 10, 20, 30, 40. This is also possible without creating an object explicitly, like new int of size array, new int array, new int array. Instead of this, I can able to directly supply this. In this case also object is creating. Don't get confused. In this case also object is creating array object. What is the size? 4 is the size. 4 is the size. 4 elements are there. 4 is the size. 4 is the size. What is the length? So what is the length? 4. What are the elements? See, one question came. Can I have like this? Possible or not? 2 plus 2 length. Possible or not? Nothing is the difference. Here, I'm only specifying the size. I'm only specifying the size. It is single dimension array only. Single dimension array only. It is not double dimension array. Single dimension array only. What happens if I declare the size explicitly? We cannot able to declare the size if I'm using this syntax. If I'm using this syntax, I cannot able to supply the size. Why? Because I'm already telling the compiler that this is the size. 4 is the size. Directly I'm supplying the elements. I'm telling to the compiler 4 is the size. 4 is the size of this array. If I'm supplying this 4 like this, we get error. In this syntax, we should not supply the size. Guys, please don't leave the session. I'll be sending you the link to mark your attendance. String type array. String type array. So don't think that there is no object is creating. It is a just a different syntax, but object is creating. Here, what is happening? Int array x, int array y. For x, I'm supplying y. For y, I'm supplying x. Wherever the reference x, wherever the, see here, how assignment is happening? How assignment is happening? Y is assigning to x. Wherever the y is pointed, wherever the, for whatever the object y is pointed, for the same object x also referring. Whatever the x reference is pointing, whatever the object that is x is pointed, for the same object y also pointed. Now whatever the changes you made will be reflecting to the both references. Whatever the changes you made will be reflecting to the both references. So then size of y will be the same. See, so y I'm reassigning to x, right? So wherever the x is pointed, for the same object y also pointed. Got it or not? X is the int type array, y is the byte type array. In this case, I cannot able to, in this case, I cannot able to, y I cannot able to send it to the x I cannot able to send it to the y. So both are different types. Both are different types. If in case array type is same, if in case array type is same, then only I can able to interchange. Then only I can able to assign the different array. Sorry, then only I can able to assign the reference if both the arrays are same type. If and only if both the arrays are same type, then only we can able to send the references to the same type of reference. But in case of here, see, what about type promotion? What about typecasting? See, typecasting, it is applicable for primitive data types, primitive data types, not in case of arrays, not in case of arrays. In case of data types is possible. Okay. In case of array, in case of array, not possible. Same type only I should supply. Same type. Y is different, X is different. X is int, Y is byte. In this case, I cannot perform like that. Please try to practice all these examples with modifications. So from the next class, we'll start with strings. In the next class, I might be able to finish the strings. Then we'll move on to data structures, then algorithms. I'll be sending you the link now. Please don't leave. Please mark your attendance. Then you can leave the session. Thanks, everyone.